And action. When I heard a friend call a girl a whore, I was sure he didn't know its meaning. But he was meaning to disrespect her. He wanted to show all the other boys how cool he was. So I take a moment and pause. Everything happening around me every day by men who feel entitled enough to rate women out of 10 based on their looks and bodies, treating women merely as their hobbies. The stories of male entitlement reach newspaper articles on some days, but on most days we forgive the boys that will remain boys. In most ways, the friend who called a girl a whore now even loosely uses the word slut, while publicly shaming women for what they wore and normalizing staring at their butts. The existence of the rape culture, the vulture that feeds off all of our woke progressiveness, is evidence of our oppressiveness that is promoted by the age-old system of gender-based discrimination that we are taught from a young age. When we see the isolation of our mothers, the lack of education for our sisters, the lack of representation for women in our own households, we question this as kids, but as we grow up, we put on blindfolds, and thus most of the stories remain untold about the girls that were taken from their homes and then sold. Our hearts have now turned cold against the injustice and violence in our nation. Every few years, we will do demonstrations against this very separation of our population, but we will take half of our lives to understand the explanation of the F word, feminist. We question how will its usage be of any benefit to us, privileged men who don't feel it is relevant, and thus we become venomous to the very movement that strives for basic human rights. We become the very reason for why it is unsafe at night. But now is the time for us to become a part of a fight against our own egos and our own upbringing. It is time for us to start from the very beginning and unlearn the damage that has been done to us by patriarchy and disembowel this very state of anarchy that we have created in our own democracy that says all people are equal. We strive to live in a society that is peaceful, but peace must start from our own kitchens. And remember, equality comes with no terms or conditions. Why don't we see the redundancy in this conversation? While all the chants and protests are going unheard, why are we failing to see the cultivation of the rape culture being followed by us as a herd? Why have we normalized everyday molestation? Why do we keep our mouths shut? Why is the violence blurred? There is time for us to reclaim the meanings that were lost in translation. Being a feminist should no longer be an F word.